If I'm honest, there are days where I don't have the same motivation. I don't have that happy attitude and positive outlook that a person should. Gosh, how dramatic of an intro that was. Anyway, hi my loves, hello beautiful people. I bet you were actually able to relate to that because it is a thing where in the winter you can feel these depressive moods or the sadness. It is 100% normal. It is so normal that ironically they have made this into a phenomenon or a disorder if you have severe symptoms, which is known to be the winter blues or seasonal affective disorder. It is essentially when you get this feeling of less motivation just because the seasons have changed. Now, there are levels to this. There's a severity. When you feel yourself feeling this every day consistently during the winter, it's likely that you are on the extreme scale, which means it probably is a disorder and not just a phenomenon at this point. But it is very common that the seasons changing could affect our mood, our thinking, our feelings about ourselves, just because of what we are used to getting from the sun. Here's the basics that you need to take in. When your body does not absorb enough sunlight, it is not producing serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that provides us energy, happiness, motivation. It influences our mood, our behaviors, and our outlook on things. So if we are not getting the proper sunlight, it detrimentally affects our ability to create serotonin. And instead of creating serotonin, because we're not getting that sunlight, our body is producing melatonin. Now here's the problem with that. When you have too much melatonin, that means you're always tired. You're not wanting to engage with other people, other things, and ultimately it leads to your body having an irregular rhythm. We need that proper balance for our body to make sure that we're up and we're moving throughout the day, but then in the evening that we are sleeping like we are supposed to do properly. But how is anyone supposed to do that if we're not getting the proper sunlight? Especially in the wintertime, we have maybe 8 to 10 hours a day of sunlight if you are lucky. Think about for people who have to work or people who have to leave for extended periods of time, and then by the time you have leisure time to yourself, you haven't even been outdoors. Especially when our bodies were so used to the summer where we had those long nights that we were outside and we were doing things. Our body was getting the sunlight and our rhythm was consistent. So I hope I proved my point that our body has to be in rhythm. Our body has to have that balance between getting enough serotonin but also melatonin. But then there's the extreme cases where every single time the winter comes around or that season comes around, you're consistently feeling these symptoms. Now, these symptoms can be feeling depressed, not wanting to interact in the same activities that you know that you love, that you are experiencing changes in your appetite and your weight, that you find yourself having low energy, that you have a hard time concentrating. Sometimes you can even be irritable or sluggish. And ultimately, you can feel hopeless or worthless, which can lead to suicidal thoughts or ideation. So you just find yourself overeating, oversleeping, not being social, being isolated, essentially being in a hibernated state. If you find yourself or someone exhibiting those behaviors for more than 2 years consecutively at the same time, it is possible that person has seasonal affective disorder, and it's no longer just a normal phenomenon that all of us go through, but they are on the extreme scale. Now, studies show that this only affects about 2 to 8% of people, so it's not too common, but at the same time, it is something that is out there and a phenomenon. Now, these people are typically located in places like New England or Alaska, or just places where they are closer to the north because that's where the days are shorter and the nights are longer. Obviously, there is the opposite of if you are closer to the equator where it is warm, you're likely to get more sunlight. Now, before we move on to the solutions and how you can improve your behavior if you are experiencing these symptoms, it is also noted that there are people who experience these issues in the summer and not just the winter. Now, the symptoms happen to be opposite. In the summer, it's where you're getting less sleep. You could have a poor appetite, you could find yourself feeling relentless, you're agitated, and your behavior can even become violent. So, the solutions to the problem. One that they suggest is light therapy. There are practices where they would put a person in front of a very bright light that does not damage their eyes, where you sit in front of a light for 20 to 40 minutes a day, typically in the beginning of the day, and your body just soaks up the natural vitamin D that it needs. According to studies, it is very effective and it helps a person just improve their quality of life by giving them the motivation to do what they need to do and set out for the day. Now, there's also where a person can seek cognitive behavioral therapy or psychotherapy, talk therapy, where they find a way to appropriately cope with their feelings and the negative self-talk that they have. So they're sitting down and talking to someone, at least on a weekly basis. Then of course there's antidepressant medication that you can take, or you can take vitamin D supplements to get that extra nutrition that your body is screaming for. Now, some additional things that you can do independently without waiting for funding or waiting for your insurance to find you what you need is changing your eating habits. What you eat and what you put in your body that help you feel better and help you push through. Fast food is not going to give you the energy that you're looking for, but maybe leaning more towards vegetables and fruits and things like that. Also, keep up on your physical appearance. Make sure that you are exercising, getting in that extra energy to make yourself feel good. You're getting enough sleep. And maybe even meditation to calm yourself, to give you that extra self-reflection that you are looking for, providing your own personal healing. Now, this video is for awareness purposes only. Do not go self-diagnosing yourself because of this video. If you fear that you have these symptoms on a severe level, as we talked before about at the beginning of this video, seek professional help. Reach out to a psychologist that can appropriately diagnose you if this is something that you fear, so that you can take the proper recommendations to resolve what you're feeling. So guys, yet another video where we explain how we feel and why we do what we do, and I hope that this connects the dots for you so that you can continue to live a quality life. Speaking of quality, I remember doing a video about how your quality of life can improve if you have money and if it's true or not. Make sure you click this video right over here if you are interested in other videos like the one I just did. And obviously too, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.